Good morning, family. My name is Mighty Stream. I'm going to do our May the 3rd spiritual principle a day in a meditation. Hope you're doing well. The title of the meditation for today, The Attraction of Goodwill. Like so many things in recovery, how we do the work is as important as the work we do. That comes from the Guiding Principles book, Tradition 11, opening essay. Many of us have had the experience of encountering a newcomer at a meeting or working with a sponsee who just can't seem to get this recovery thing. We have wished that we could just pour experience, strength, and hope into their minds and hearts, but we know it simply doesn't work that way. By participating in the hospitals and institutions and public relations service committees, many of us get a front row seat to the newcomers' awakening when we take the H&I meetings to inmates and present PR panels to local schools. Initially, some students might attend to get out of class and prisoners to get out of their cells. Regardless of the motivation, many can't help but identify. We see the looks on their faces change from indifference and apathy to relief and understanding. The NA message has a way of penetrating through that tough exterior and getting right to the heart of the still suffering addict. Sharing openly and honestly from the heart is the most attractive thing we have to offer. If we were to run around like fanatics, proclaiming the spoils of recovery based on our specific gains and achievements, this would be a misrepresentation of the truth. The practice of goodwill in Tradition 11 comes when we exercise discretion and deliver a simple message. Narcotics Anonymous can work for anyone with a desire to stop using. When the message is clear, recovery can take root. Today, I will be mindful of how I represent myself inside and outside of the rooms, knowing that my story is not the Narcotics Anonymous program and that I might be the only basic text some people ever read. Let's take a moment of silence, followed by the we version of Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now. Thank you, God. Grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference just for today. Please and thank you. We might be the only basic text that someone will ever read. Wow. That is deep right there. We might be the only basic text some people ever see, right? And so if that's the case, and I've read the basic text, I've been in the program a while, is what I'm presenting to others easy for them to grasp? We cannot try to sell a bill of goods when it comes to this Narcotics Anonymous way of living. We can't sell it. It should by itself be an attraction, observable, right? But we can't sell it. I came in, I did 90 meetings in 90 days. I got a sponsor, I worked the steps. Narcotics Anonymous gave me back my life. It gave me a college education. It gave me a husband. It gave me 6 children. It gave me a 6-figure income. And it'll give you the same thing too. No, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. The program was introduced into our lives, mostly because of the gift of desperation, but it could have been a nudge from a judge. The point is that after we stopped using the drugs, lost the desire to use, and found a new way to live, lost dreams awaken and new possibilities arise. As a direct result of recovery, no longer putting the drugs in our system and learning about spiritual principles. And as a result of that work, these lost dreams that begin to awaken, these new possibilities that begin to arise, that is the caveat. That's like the frosting on the cake. That's not the program of NA. And we get confused with the spoils and try to present the spoils as the bill of sales. And it's not, right? It's not about promotion, it's about attraction. It cracks me up when I share and I go into, before I got clean. Then I go to when I got clean. Then I talk about sponsorship because that was a very big turnoff for me in the beginning, right? And so I talk about sponsorship. And then from going to sponsorship, I talk about the things that I didn't change. I talk about the things I didn't change and how I ended up paying a high price for not being willing to change and having another gift of desperation being given to me, even though I was clean, right? I was still dirty on the inside. And I had to share, I share about that and how I ended up totally surrendering. And as a result of being able to totally surrender, there's some new possibilities that have come into my life. But man, it didn't come for a long time, right? And there's still a load of things about this life, this recovering addict's life, that I need to line up, right? There's still adjustments that I need to make if I'm going to be able to enjoy the fruit of my labor in recovery, right? So we need to make sure that when we're talking about Narcotics Anonymous and we're sharing this message, we want to be an attraction, right? And goodwill is an attraction, right? Doing the right thing for the right reasons, making sure when we're sharing, have an opportunity to share that we're sharing those things that are very, very common for all of us, having to surrender and sharing that story. At the very end, you can share all of the lost dreams that have awakened and the new possibilities that have arose. But I don't walk in the building talking about my master's. I don't walk in the building talking about my PhD, and that's important. No, that can be left at the door because I'm an addict seeking recovery as well. And I don't want anybody that has all those credentials. Listen, let me tell you something. I understand today what it's like to start a business and keep one. I understand today what it's like to be married and keep the marriage, be faithful in the marriage. I understand what it's like to raise kids that are not your own or to be a step parent. I understand all of that and to do it very well, right? I understand what it's like to start all over, get a college education. I understand all of that. And I would never make light of the level of work that goes into any of those achievements. But none of that is the bill of goods that we sell to folks. We're not selling, pitching a sale. We're not doing that. That's not what we do. It's about attraction. And some people, they will never, ever put their hands even on a basic text because we use devices now. Everything is online. They will never get an opportunity to actually buy an actual basic textbook. And so they don't have something that's all put together that they can open up front to back, right? They don't even know it's divided between, the steps and the readings and all of that, and then the personal stories. They have no idea because they're not looking at an actual book. So when it says that we might be the only basic text that somebody sees, that's true. Many a times I've heard people share about the first page in the basic text. What's on it? Nothing. It's empty. Okay. But most people will never see that anymore because they don't have the book. So we got to be able to carry this message in a way that is simple. My name is Mighty Stream. I've enjoyed talking to you today. I hope that you have a beautiful day on purpose.